Hello, everybody. I know that I didn't set up a time for this and I didn't notify you guys that I was going to do a live, but it is Thursday, and usually I do my lives on Thursdays now to accommodate my schedule and to also accommodate the schedule of the other streamers as well, or the other YouTubers for Cast Iron. So, hello, Rick. Glad to see you here, Rick. We're gonna wait here, and as you can see, we do have the Lodge Skull pans that just came out. I want to say maybe a month ago or a little bit less. Hello, Honey Badger. Glad to see you here. And as I mentioned, sorry guys for not announcing that there was going to be a live today. I know that I totally forgot. I thought I had posted a notification for my live, but apparently I had completely forgotten. So hopefully we're gonna wait a little bit, guys. So today we're gonna be baking in these. These are the new Lodge pans. I do have my kiddos with me, so if you do hear a little bit of the background, my kids do know that I have my kids with me. My wife is at work, so I'm here with my kiddos, and they're gonna be here. The original plan, actually, guys, was to have my son help me out bake the cakes. We're doing some lemon cakes in these, and we'll see how that turns out. So this will be the first time that I use them. The only thing that I've done so far is just wash them, and that's about it. So we'll see. We're gonna be baking today, so stick around, guys. We're gonna be baking in these new Skull pans from Lodge. As you can see here, that's what it looks like on the inside, the back side, and these are actually fairly large. We'll get into it in a minute, but this is their information here: Lodge USA BW Skull. So I'm assuming bakeware Skull. Yeah, and as I mentioned, I was gonna have my kiddos help me out. That was the plan today, but we got two of them that are sick. I have three kids. I got two of them that are sick, and they have strep throat. So hopefully I won't get sick, but they are not gonna help me out today. They are not feeling so well today. So it's just gonna be me. And as I mentioned, if you guys hear my kiddos in the background, I do apologize for the loud, crazy screaming that might occur. But we are going to be starting soon. We're just waiting. As I mentioned, I did not indicate that there was going to be a live today, so forgive me for that. But we're going to wait a little bit here and give me some time. I'm going to start prepping things so that way we can talk about this and then start baking, and we'll see how everything turns out. Hopefully within the hour, we'll have something ready for you guys. Bear with me. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to be using today, because where I'm at, it's very, very smoky. We have a fire going on in California, and all that smoke is pretty much staying here in the city that I live in. I live in Reno, Nevada. And so a lot of that smoke has prevented us from actually going out. That smoke is actually very unhealthy, so we've been kind of staying home, and I'm missing a couple of the ingredients that I wanted to do to make something out of scratch. So I did have some baking already, I guess you could say some pre-made flour and everything mixed. So I like using this brand a lot. This is the Krusty's, and we're gonna be baking this today. We're gonna be using this. So today it's not gonna be me making a recipe of my own or following a recipe from online from scratch. We are gonna be doing this one here. And I do like this one a lot just because it has no artificial flavors, and it is a little bit on the healthier or more natural side. There's Pillsbury, there's other brands, whatever store you go to. But anyway, we're gonna do a pound cake, and hopefully they turn out great in these molds. So And as I mentioned, we're going to be doing this with that, and I'll let you guys know. Hopefully we'll be done by then. And as I mentioned, I got my kiddos here. She's sick. Hold on, give me a minute. Anyway, we're going to be doing this today, so let me get everything squared away. Let me get everything prepared, and we're going to start baking. But actually, what I can do for the meantime, before I get this started, is I'm going to preheat my oven, and I'm going to follow the instructions. And we're going to preheat this. Jeanette, hello, Jeanette. Cast Iron Chaos. That pan was bigger than I expected. Yeah, so you have one yourself as well, Cast Iron Chaos. Yeah, these, when they came in, they were a lot bigger. So I'm going to just give you guys a quick measurement of this. But as I mentioned, we have a lot of smoke here, so I kind of have been staying home. The smoke is actually very unhealthy, so I decided to go with this because I'm missing a couple of the ingredients that I need to do something from scratch. I wanted to do a banana bread, but I have not been able to, so we're gonna go with this. Cast Iron Chaos says he has made a cornbread in his, and a whole batch of cornbread fit in those 6. That's great. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this pound cake in both of these, maybe just one, so I might just use one for today. We'll see how that goes. I don't know exactly the capacity on these. I don't know if the lodge states the capacity on these, but most likely I want to say that maybe just one of these will probably hold this cake mix already. So we'll see how that works. But let me grab a measuring tape. So we're gonna do a little bit of a measuring on this, and if you guys want, I can also weigh it for you guys so you guys can see. Cast Iron Chaos says it takes 2 of those box cake mixes to do a full cast iron bundt pan. I think you're right. If you do one of these already pre-made, or cake mixes, it's about halfway in a bundt pan, so that is true. But anyway, as I mentioned, let me grab a measuring tape, and if you guys want to know the weight, because they are a little bit on the heavier side, we can weigh those real quick, so bear with me.
Now look at you there. You lost it. Why are you crying? What you lost? Ooh, is that good? Oh, we took it. Shoot it.
All right, guys, so let's give this a quick measure. Let me move that here. So from handle to handle, we've got about, let me see if I can bring this up. It's about 12.5 inches, handle to handle. I know this is upside down, but as I mentioned, about 12.5 inches, guys. Now, from edge to edge here, we're at about 10 inches from edge to edge, about 10 and a quarter inch. So they are, as I mentioned, on the bigger side. And then on the diagonal, they're close to 13 inches, or a little bit more than 13, so about 13 and a quarter inches. I don't know if you guys can see it there. So yes, it is actually a pretty big pan. Okay, let me see. Let me give this a quick weight so you guys can get an idea of how heavy these are. Okay, guys, so these guys are pretty heavy, as I mentioned. I'm going to move you guys here. We're at 7 pounds, 3.6 ounces, so a little bit on the heavier side. So, as I mentioned, these guys are heavy. So when I got them in, that was one of the first things that I noticed, is the weight on these. So hopefully, for those of you that are wanting to bake with these, that's not going to be an issue. I think it's going to be great weight-wise. It's kind kind of typical for cast iron to be that weight. What is, so Cast Iron Chaos says, what is the width and depth of the single skull? Let's see. All right. So the single skulls are, we are 4.5 inches from the top of the skull to the bottom. So about 4.5 inches. The depth, I want to say, are close to, let's see, about 1 inch at the lowest point. So about 1 inch. So 4.5 inches, and then in depth, we got 1 inch on the lowest point here towards the middle side. So I guess you could say towards right here, we got about 1 inch. And so yeah, and then 4.5 inches on the skull itself. So as I mentioned, they are pretty deep. There's 6 of them. So I think I should have enough with that cake mix to do possibly 1, maybe 2. But we'll see how that goes. We're going to get this started, guys. Let me grab my utensils and we'll get that going. So I hope you guys are excited for this, because I am. This is the first time that I use these. I haven't done anything with them since I received them, which was about a week ago. But anyway, we're going to get started. So I'm going to move you guys to my kitchen, or yes, to my kitchen. I'm going to set you guys here. I do have some dough there on top of my Finex 1 quart. And that's some pizza dough there that I have. I was going to do pizza, but I did notice that Cast Iron Chaos did his pizza yesterday, and we're going to do pizza. My son wanted pizza, so it kind of gave me inspiration to do pizza. So we're not featuring the pizza today, but we are going to do some baking. So here we go, guys. And we're gonna need 3 cups of water, 10 tablespoons of melted butter. So we're gonna have to melt some butter, 1 egg, and 2.5 teaspoons or 2 teaspoons of water for glaze. That's for the glaze. There is a glaze in here. And that's one of the things that I like too, is that they include like a glaze mix, so you can add that glaze for the lemon cake. But anyway, we're gonna get this right now and get started. So the recipe does say 10 tablespoons, and one of these is actually, let's see if we can get that in focus. One of these is actually 8 tablespoons, so I need one of these plus another one. And I did buy unsalted butter specifically for this. Unsalted butter is usually the way you want to go when you're baking. It's one of the best things to do because you don't want to have a pastry that doesn't taste right. So let me grab another piece, and we're going to grab something to melt this butter. Actually, I can probably do it in the pot here. And my stove here does have a warming center, and it has levels, so we're going to go with a level 3. We're going to throw this butter there, and we'll throw a little bit more in a minute. Yes, cast iron chaos. Oh no, I am using cast iron on a glass stovetop. A lot of people have fear. I mean, I'll be honest. When I first started, I did think that it was probably not a great idea uh, to use cast iron on my glass stovetop. But obviously, that's not a problem. And I've been, doing a lot of stuff. And I even, saute when I saute my food. I even move my skillet around to do the chef thingy, even though I'm not a professional, to kind of saute the veggies that I'm doing. So far it's held up really well. Just so you guys know, yes, you can cook on a glass stovetop. I know that Cast Iron Chaos, you are very lucky for upgrading to a gas stovetop. I really want one, but at this moment, where I live, we don't have any gas appliances here. So we're stuck with electric for now. But hopefully, when I purchase a home, I will definitely be buying a gas stovetop. So I'm hoping that Cast Iron Chaos is enjoying his gas stovetop. And then we're gonna add another 2 tablespoons, I'm sorry, of this one here. And a lot of people say not to cut it with the whatever wrapper you have on it, but this is I want to say almost a wax paper, so I don't think that's a big deal. But maybe I'll just score it and then cut it. So I do hope that you guys are having a lovely Thursday. And as I mentioned, sorry guys for not announcing the live today. I've just been so busy, and not that I not care or anything of that nature. But I have been very busy, and just a lot of stuff been going on right now. So dealing with sick children, dealing with this crazy smoke over here in northern Nevada. That's where I'm at. Dealing with all that smoke is pretty bad. My goodness, this stove is so loud. All right, so as I mentioned, we got this on level 3, and we're gonna melt that butter. Probably should consider switching it over. I don't know if this warming is gonna be good enough, so we'll just switch it over, and then hopefully we can get this melted a little bit quicker. Or possibly even, now that I have my oven preheated, I can probably stick it in the oven and have it melt that way, which is probably what I'm gonna do. All right, so let's pour this. So I do have my oven preheated at 350. One thing my stove doesn't have is a center burner. Your center must be very useful. It is actually Cast Iron Chaos. It does come in handy. Right now though, since I'm kind of in a rush just to get this going, guys, I want to get that butter melted a little bit quicker, but usually that warming center is a great place, especially if you've cooked a meal and you want to just keep it warm. That is a great spot to have it at. But I'll be honest, I'd rather have a gas stovetop. I don't know what it is. It's like when I cook outdoors, I think that's what I enjoy the most, is when I cook outdoors. Just the fact that I, either when I'm cooking with wood fire or whether I'm cooking with propane, there is, obviously that I feel like there's more action going on. I feel like it's this, I'll be honest, it's kind of boring just looking at it glow and, heat up, and there's not much action going on. So yes, I enjoy cooking outdoors on a live fire. I enjoy cooking on a propane, or even, uh, a gas stovetop. My mother-in-law actually has one, so I do enjoy cooking at her house as well. But anyway, all right, let's continue. All right, so it says here we need 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of, oh, that's for the glaze. Okay, so I got my egg here. Nothing fancy, just a simple egg. Now, what I am going to do with these is I actually like, instead of doing butter, in order for it to release properly, I do like using a baking spray. And, I do like using these that don't have the propellants. It's harder to find. This one here, I got it from Sprouts, and it is gluten-free, non-stick, and it works great. I do like, I forget the other brand. Baker's Joy, I want to say. Baker's Joy, I think that's the one. No, it's not that one. I forget the other brand, but there's another brand that doesn't use propellants as well. And it's great. And one of the things, too, is that if you have ever bought the seasoning from Lodge, they also state that they don't use any propellants for their seasoning, so you don't get any harmful chemicals while you're trying to season your cast iron or cook or what be it. So anyway, this is great because it does have flour in the baking spray, and that prevents it from sticking. So and as I mentioned, I haven't done anything to these yet. The only thing that I've done so far is just wash them with soap and water, like they recommend, and after that, just dried them up. Right now, as I mentioned, all I got to do is just put some baking spray on these. So I'm going to move you guys over here to my sink, so that way I don't make a mess over here in the stovetop. As you can see, those are my utensils from the pizza dough. But we are going to spray this real quick. Remove my trash. I think I might just do one set of the skull, and if I have some leftover batter, then I will most likely do a smaller whatever. I do have a Griswold that I've been wanting to use, that number 3, so I might consider using that, and hopefully it'll turn out. I know a lot of people like using butter or shortening. But for me, I have noticed, especially with bundt cakes, I do know that Cast Iron Chaos likes cooking with bundt cakes. One of the best ways to do it is with the baking spray that has flour in it. And sometimes, if you can't do that, then yes, the best thing to do is to grab whatever shortening you like or you prefer, like Crisco, or possibly butter. And then from there, you just add some flour to your either bundt pan or whatever you're baking, and then that will help you prevent any sticking. So just a quick thing that I wanted to throw out there. Excuse me. And I do like incorporating this as much as I can onto the pan itself, prevent any kind of sticking, and hopefully these come out really nice, because I am excited. And I honestly haven't seen many people use these on social media or YouTube for that matter. So I don't know if I'd be considered the first to use or to feature these on a baking video, but I am excited for it. right, give me a minute, guys. All right, didn't quite finish there. I had to get some water. As I mentioned, guys, the smoke right now is just pretty bad, and I was very hopeful that we weren't going to have any fires this year, but well, turns out that we did, and obviously we are affected right now with all that smoke. We have they announced in the news today that, or I want to say, I think it was yesterday actually, that we have the worst air quality in the nation. So, not necessarily something to be proud of, but yeah, we have the worst air quality. They are recommending everybody to stay indoors. And I have heard stories from the news that there's a lot of people going into the ER with a lot of complications with all the smoke that's going on. So hopefully this clears up quickly, and those firefighters that are battling this fire, hopefully they get it contained pretty quickly. But I do know that the fire right now is actually I think at 20% containment. So they're still working hard on that, but hopefully, as I mentioned, they can get that squared away, and hopefully all these firefighters will be safe and make it back home. All right, guys, I think that's good enough. We're gonna check the butter, and I'll check the comments in a minute, guys. I'm not ignoring you. Alright, I think I left the butter in there too long, which can cause a problem because I don't want this to bake my my cake. So we're gonna let it cool for a bit. Stir this around. As you can see here, there's still some butter in here. But it is pretty hot, I'm assuming, and I don't want to mix it quite yet. So I'll catch up with the comments in a minute. All right, where did I leave off, guys? Let me move my camera. Hippie Longshanks. Hello, Hippie Longshanks. He says, I haven't broken my glass top yet. Yeah, I have actually. I think it was Cast Iron Cookware. He did a video about how durable the glass stovetops are, and he was being pretty abusive in order for it to break. So that was a nice little thing to see. Honey Badger says, somebody stop him. Cast Iron Chaos also says the gas stovetop was the deal make or break. I passed up on the homes that didn't have a gas stove. But enough about me. Seriously, your stuff looks very nice. Thank you. And thank you. Yes, my daughter, actually she's sick right now, so yes, she is here. And as I mentioned, my kiddos were going to help me out too in this video or in this live, but they are a little bit on the sicker side, or sick side right now, so they do not want to help me today. Eric T says, good to have you on this side, Cast Iron Chaos. Doug PWND, hello. He says, do you cookie dough? Would you work the skull pan? Would cookie dough, I think maybe a sugar cookie would work. That's something I would like to try. I do have a recipe that my sister has given me, so I will try that and I'll let you guys know. Or perhaps I'll do a short or a video on that. Honey Badger, does a gas stove leave much residue on your pans? One thing that I have noticed with a gas stovetop is that yes, it can burn the seasoning on the bottom of your skillet. So I do recommend that you oil the bottom of your skillet to prevent rust as well, because usually when that happens, the seasoning is burnt off. So you start to develop rust if you don't oil it and properly take care of it. But other than that, they work pretty well. Rick says very little, if any, over a long period of time, honey badger. Yes, as I mentioned, yes, that is correct. I will have to make a cake using the mold and call it a catacomb cake. Yes, and that is from James Griffith. I'm sorry, James Griffith. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. James Griffith. Cynthia Wesley says, "Hello, everybody. Late. I've been painting." Hello, Cynthia. Glad to have you here. Rhode Island Eats. Thank you very much for showing up. Let's see. All right. Okay, guys. So let me take a quick temperature of my butter to see if we can get everything mixed and then get this going. All right, so butter is hot, but not extremely. It's at about 120. So I think we're okay to, yeah, it was enough to melt it, but not to completely have it boiling. I think if I would have left it there a little bit longer, then we would have had issues. And as you can see, the butter is fully melted now. So even this, to be honest, I mean, it is hot, but not completely. I can still touch it. So I'm glad that I didn't leave it in there for too long, but I think we're ready to get this going. And if you guys are just tuning in, I am using a already, I guess you could say, pre-made mix from Krusteaz. As I mentioned, I do like them a lot because they have no artificial flavoring, which is very nice. So we're gonna stir this together. We're gonna grab the water as well, the egg, and we'll get going. Now it does say how much water do we need. Keep looking at this thing. Three-quarter cup. All right, guys. So 3/4 cup. We're gonna add the egg. Moving on to the water. And then lastly, we're doing the butter. And that is going to be a very buttery cake. So it is a pound cake. I will be using my Danish hook. I think I've talked about this one before, but works great for doing these kinds of things. All we do is just mix it together, guys. That's the beauty of these pre-made packages. Not many steps. Now, I typically don't always do this with when I bake, especially when it comes to my banana nut bread or some cakes. I've done recently some upside down peach cakes, pineapple upside down cakes, and I usually do recipes. But nothing wrong with using the pre-packaged items. They work just as great. And they do have some that are more natural than others, so I do recommend that you go with something that is closely to a home made cake or dessert for that matter. Whether it's brownies, cookies, there are, and as I mentioned, I do like Krusties, and not that I'm sponsored by them or anything of that nature. I'm not, you know, this isn't paid promotion, but I do like them a lot. They do have great products. And as I mentioned, whether it's cookies, brownies, cakes, they do have great stuff. And it just says, the instructions say, stir together water, melted butter, eggs, and cake mix until blended. And that's about it, guys. And there we have it. Voila, we have a cake mix. Now, is there lumps in this? Yes. Possibly give it a go with a spatula. Give it a quick fold, kind of get rid of those lumps if we can. And then we'll spoon in the batter into the cake molds, the Skillet cake molds. Now I have seen their promotion on social media for Lodge about these pans. They look great, and I'm very happy that they decided to do this. And I might be a little biased, yes, because I am a descendant, you know, Mexican descendant. So I do like the Skillet. And I don't know if I have it here, but if you guys want to take a look at it, I will show you guys in a minute after we put this inside and we get this squared away. Now, I do like using scoops. This one here is a Volrath. My sister got me these, so I like using these, especially for smaller cake molds. And I have already greased these pans. So maybe about a little bit more than halfway. Hopefully that'll be enough to where it doesn't spill over. But if it is too much, well, we'll see. About halfway. We'll see if this turns out. And doing it with this, you know, this method, as I mentioned with this ice cream scoop, it does provide a little bit more of a proper measuring. So I'm doing technically 2 of these scoops, and it's easy with the handle here that slides off the batter. It works just as great. And to be honest, I think this is going to be just barely enough. So yes, one of these is big enough to hold 1 packet of cake mix. Alright, and there you guys go. You can see there. So, don't know if Cast Iron Chaos is still here, but with this pre-made pack, which is, what is the serving, or about 47 grams is what the mixture is. So about 47 grams of this is enough to make for all these 6 skull molds. So there you are, guys. As you can see, these are ready to go in the oven. Somebody has to lick the bowl. I don't know if I want to lick the bowl. And we have already the oven preheated at 350. And it says here that it needs to bake for about 38 to 42 minutes. So we'll set a timer. Hopefully we can get these and I can show you guys what they look like. What do you think? Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Did the pizza go done?
No, the pizza dough is not done yet. We're letting it rise. But there we go, guys. As you can see, going in the center. And I did lower my oven rack. And there you go. We're going to let it go for 38 minutes. At least 38 minutes. We're going to set the timer here. Let's see. Where is my timer? Timer. We'll do 38 minutes. We'll start it. There we go. I know this one's going on a little bit longer. I'm okay with that. If you guys are okay with going a little bit more than the hour and you guys want to stick around, that'd be great. And if not, then we'll see how that goes. And I can post pictures on YouTube on a post and we can go off of that. But let me put you guys back at my table so you guys can take a look at my well, here's the skull one. But so for Halloween, I guess, Lodge decided to do the, for those of you that don't know, Lodge decided to do a skull cup or a cake mold. Cupcake mold, I was going to say, but I guess it could be a cupcake mold. But they decided to do a skull bake pan, and this is it. As I mentioned, heavy, so about 7 and something pounds. It is pretty big, 13 inches on the diagonal, and we got about 12 inches and a half handle to handle. So it is a pretty big pan, guys. And they also came out with the Dia de los Muertos inspired skillet, and we can see that in a minute. All right, guys, and here we are. This is, as I mentioned, the Dia de los Muertos skillet from Lodge that just recently came out. And I've used this one already a couple of times. I even showcased it when I first got it on the channel. And it has been working really great. I've been actually switching over to flaxseed oil. And to be honest, guys, I know that there's a lot of hype behind flaxseed, and a lot of people have gotten on board with flaxseed. And I remember trying flaxseed oil in the beginning, and I didn't really like the way it was seasoning. But I was following the rule of thumb, which is the what was it? The burning point, or the burning point, smoke point. I'm sorry, the smoke point of flaxseed oil, and it wasn't giving me a proper coat of seasoning. So what I ended up doing with flaxseed oil, I bought some flaxseed oil that has to be refrigerated. And what I've done to get this, because this has been seasoned with flaxseed oil, what I've done is I bump up the heat for about 20 minutes to about 500 degrees or 550. I want to say 550 degrees. So I do 550 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. And they come out so much nicer. The patina is a lot darker, and the finish is highly glossy. As you can see here, this looks like it's oiled, but there's no oil on this, guys. See? No oil on my finger. I don't know why it's not. Camera's not adjusting. Well, anyway. So no oil there, but they are shiny, and that is one thing that I do like now about flaxseed oil. Now, I do recommend that you get organic flaxseed oil that has to be refrigerated. Don't buy anything else. But for me, it's been working out. And now I ran out of the flaxseed oil because I've been seasoning all my other pans with it. And now I'm kind of upset that I can't find, because it is difficult to find flaxseed oil. But I'm going to check Amazon, and I'm sure I can find something on Amazon. But so far at my stores, it is very hard to find the refrigerated flaxseed oil, but I do recommend that you get that one, and it works great to bring back and to give a good seasoning on your cast iron. Not that I'm endorsing flaxseed oil. You can, season with whatever you guys like. But for me, experience-wise so far, it has become one of my favorites, to be honest. And it does work great, and I can see why people like it. But anyway, guys, as I mentioned, this is the Lodge Collection Dia de los Muertos Halloween pans. And yeah, here's the other thing that I want to do actually. Now that I have some of you guys here, I want to announce the giveaway. So let me grab the giveaway items that I'm going to do for you guys. All right, guys. So for the giveaway, I am giving away this Redhead 1856 skillet. So for those of you that want to win this, all you got to do is hit the like button on this video. After I post it on YouTube on the live, it's not really going to count on the live. So come back to the video once I post it or it uploads to YouTube, and then hit the like button. Also, leave me on the uploaded video a comment, and let me know if you guys like outdoor cooking. If you've ever cooked outdoors, you know, and that's including open fire, you know, a wood fire or propane outdoors, things of that nature. Let me know if you guys like doing outdoor cooking more or less than you know, inside cooking in your kitchen or things of that nature. But let me know. Just leave me a comment, guys, of you know, your favorite way of cooking or using your cast iron. But as you can see here, brand new 1856 Redhead. And this is the Redhead skillet, I guess you could say. Very nice skillet, 10 1/4 inch from Lodge. And also, what I want to do with this giveaway, and just to throw it out there, guys, this giveaway is no way sponsored or endorsed by Lodge or YouTube for that matter. This is all on my own, and I'm doing it as a thank you to everybody that has been here with me, and I do appreciate your guys' time and all of that and your support. So anyway, this is going to be included along with this. This is the Cast Iron Nation cookbook from Lodge, and it has a lot of awesome recipes. So for those of you that are looking to be inspired about recipes or, you know, about items you can cook in your cast iron cookware, here are awesome. Not only that, but they also offer cool little information here about Lodge and things of that nature. So a cool cookbook, in my opinion. I like it a lot. I do have one of my own already, and I actually had this one was given to me. So and they told me, hey, if you want to give this out to somebody, one of your viewers, then you can take it. And I said sure, and I appreciate that. It's at church. Somebody was moving away, and they were giving away this stuff, and I, you know, wanted to take this. So as I mentioned, as a giveaway, they never use this. It is a brand new one. They just bought it and just had it stored away and never used it. So giving this away to somebody. So, and oh, the other thing too that I want to mention is that for the giveaway, this is USA only, because at this point it is very expensive for me to ship anywhere else out of the US, especially cast iron, because this thing is heavy. So in the future, I think I want to do a giveaway where I can send to other countries, because I do know that I do have Bruno. I know Bruno, he's in Brazil, and I really want to get him something because he's been a supporter since day one. So, but for the meantime, this skillet here, USA only. And as I mentioned, you got to hit the like, be a subscriber, and also let me know what is your favorite way to use your cast iron, you know, on a open campfire, on the propane grill outside, on a grill, in the oven, in your kitchen, whatever way. Let me know what's your preferred method for cooking with cast iron. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's talk more about some other things that I'm working on. All right, we're gonna start with this one here, guys. That is a burrow furnace 9-inch skillet. Now on my table it spins, but it's not. It doesn't have a wobble or anything of that nature. It's just that my table is uneven. So, just because it spins doesn't mean that it's defective or anything like that. No, it works great. Now I haven't really reviewed this skillet yet, and the reason being is that it is a little bit on the smaller side, and I can't really do a full video using this. But I can do like eggs, breakfast items. So possibly I'm gonna do a video cooking pancakes, maybe like a piece of toast, or a grilled cheese, some eggs, and I'll post a video for you guys. So I know that it has been taking me a little bit longer to post something about this, but this is, as I mentioned, the burrow furnace 9-inch skillet. This guy is heavy. I'm not, the handle is actually probably the heaviest part of it. And once this guy heats up, guys, this thing gets blazing hot. I do wish that they would have kept, I have heard other people say that they redid the handle, and it used to be a little bit more hollow, I want to say. And now it's a solid piece, which, to be honest, it's heavier, and just to retain so much heat. So once you get this hot, this gets really hot, and it's very difficult to handle. Now the length of it is perfect. The way it's, the ergonomics of it, perfect as well, because when you grip the handle, it feels phenomenal. It feels great. Also, I mean, this is probably one of the biggest, I mean, second to the Stargazer, helper handle on a skillet, but this being a 9-inch, this thing is massive. Now, the only downside, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but this one goes lower than the actual rim. So if you try to saute, and obviously your motion is like this, you try to saute, you can lose some food. Now, I haven't done that yet, but I'll let you guys know if that actually happens to me in a video. But so far, I'm very happy with this. I have seasoned it a couple times. And one thing that I did, what happened to me the first time that I used it without anything, is that I gave it a wash with soap and water, and then I, did some eggs. And my eggs just got all black, and that's from the seasoning just coming off. I was thinking, because I had heard that the seasoning on burrow furnace was top notch, that I wasn't going to need to season it, and then I was just going to be able to just use it and then build up seasoning as I go. Sadly, I was disappointed with that, and no, the seasoning is great. It's just not up to par. So I did season this on my own with a little bit of flaxseed oil, and it has given it a glossy finish, and it is slick as can be. So now it feels great, and I have actually cooked eggs with it, and they slide around like crazy. So not that seasoning helps it necessarily. Heat control is one of the biggest key features to that, but when your seasoning is coming off already on your food, that's an indicator that the seasoning is already weak. So that's one of the reasons why I was somewhat disappointed, thinking that the seasoning on this, the pre-seasoning, was going to be already at a great place. But not that I'm bashing, that's just something that I want to put out there for you guys in case you guys do decide to buy one of these. I think they are out of stock at this moment. So, but great company. They are from New York, and I do like this a lot, but I do wish that I would have gotten the bigger one. Sadly, it was already sold out, so I decided to get this one. And this one's more of a breakfast skillet for me. So anyway, moving from the next thing that I want to talk about. It is this right here. And as you can see, I'm working on this one, so it's a work in progress. And I got this at a swap meet. And this is a Asian skillet, but it says here Country House by Krisher. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, guys. But it is from Taiwan, 8-inch skillet. And as you can see, there was a little bit of sand shift here. And that's why it has this almost looking like a crack, but it is not a crack because it does not go through on the inside. As you can see, very solid. And now I do think that these actually had a lid to them because they do have something here. So this is more of a saucepan. And I did work on the handle a little bit, cleaned it up. And as I mentioned, I'm working on this one here. And I was going to showcase it on the channel soon so you guys could see it. But as I mentioned, I haven't been able to because of all the smoke that we are experiencing right now. It's kind of hard to do anything outside. And for those of you that don't know, I do like to actually season all my stuff outdoors because the smoke is already bad enough, so I'm not going to add more smoke into my house. But yeah, so pretty cool skillet. I got this actually for $1. The lady was just trying to get rid of it, and I got it at the swap meet in Roseville. I think it's called Denio's. But yeah, so I think for what it was, $1, it turned out great. You know, was it in bad shape? Yeah, the handle was actually in pretty bad shape. The inside was in bad shape. But I put it in a lye bath because it was all crusty. Also a vinegar bath for about 5 minutes. Scrubbed the crap out of it with some steel wool and baking soda, soap, and then after drying it, before drying it actually, I added a little bit of oil to prevent any flash rust. And that is the way I get my pieces back, or at least the ones that I'm restoring. Now, there was still a little bit of seasoning built up here. I mean, it was thick carboned, but that's not a big deal. As I mentioned, that's okay with me since for me, this isn't necessarily a collector's item. This is more of a just unique piece in my eyes. I like it a lot. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, heading to bed, almost 10 p.m. Oh, okay. Sorry, Cast Iron Chaos. Yeah, good night. I did not see that you were going to bed. Yeah, I'm sure it's almost 10 p.m. over there. Yeah, it is actually. It's about 7 o'clock over here. Honey Badger. Oh, a redhead skillet. Yes. Cynthia Wesley says, my favorite way is stovetop frying my chicken. Runs the people next door at church. Crazy. Yes. Hippie Longshakes. He's saying good night. Cynthia Wesley says, just got my BSR 8 wedge out of the oven. She turned out so pretty. It's perfect. At first, it had a color, something going, but I cooked it 6 times while painting, and she's even turned out gorgeous. So yeah, a BSR number 8. Is it a Cynthia? Is that a BSR 8 chef skillet? Rick says that helper handle looks ugly but very functional. Yes, I mean it is a very unique design. Somewhat unique like the handle on the Stargazer, but the Stargazer has, I guess you could say, a little bit more practicality in the design, more not so futuristic or modern, more of a still keeping it traditional. Let's just put it that way. Not that there's anything wrong with Burrow Furnace. Honey Badger says, I'll be glad when Burrow Furnace enamel Dutch ovens are available again. Yes, actually, I was actually hoping that they would bring those back, but I know that it is difficult to do enamel. So I want to say that's why a lot of companies here aren't doing enamel pieces, especially for cast iron. And Lodge, being the biggest manufacturer of cast iron here in the U.S., doesn't produce any of their stuff here in the USA. All their enameled stuff is from China, but they still produce great items. Let's see. Oh, Cynthia Wesley says it's the 8-inch, or I'm sorry, the 8 wedge cornbread, patent pending. I actually have that one. The BSR, I actually have one. I have a BSR, and I also have a Lodge with the larger logo, the old logo. I have a cornbread skillet and the BSR skillet with the 8 wedge for cornbread. So yeah. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys like these items that I'm working on. And as I mentioned, I'll be doing a video on these. There's just a lot of, right now, if I showed you guys just the amount of cast iron that's on inside my house, you guys would be like, wow. There's a lot of pieces I'm working on, that's why. So, as I mentioned, I am doing pizza tonight with my kiddos, and right after this, I will be doing the pizza. But just so that you guys know, I've been actually using this one here. I don't think I've talked about it or even showcased it. This is a pizza pan, and it is actually from Camp Chef. Now, I do like using this one a lot actually in my oven, and I use it more than for pizza. What I actually do is put some chicken nuggets or reheat food, or for whatever reason, I use this here.
I want to see the bun. I want to see the cookie.
And I have actually made pizza in this, and it turns out great.
I want to see the cookie. The bread. I think it's done. I want to go.
So yes, guys, as I mentioned, this is the Camp Chef. Camp Chef Home. And it is a very nice cast iron pizza pan. It is somewhat of a deeper, and it has that lip versus, because I also have the Lodge pizza pans. But I like this design a little bit better, and it works great. They don't really say whether this is stovetop compatible, but I mean, being that it is a larger piece and there really isn't any kind of design to prevent it from warping, I have not used it on a stovetop, so I'm gonna refrain from using it in the stovetop, mostly oven and on the, I want to say, the grill. So I'll use this on the grill or the oven, but it's developed a great seasoning. Right now it is a little bit oily, but I am getting ready to do the pizza in this one here. Janae says, I have 2 large pizza pans I use often, like older pans that has the rims. Yeah, those are actually great, and I do think that they're still available on Amazon. I think you can still purchase those. So those are actually really cool. Now, I actually have the ones that are flat, like the ones that Cast Iron Chaos has. I have those flat ones. Rick Stombaug says, I have a Marquette in Michigan enamel Dutch oven, but it is made in China. Yeah. Actually, Marquette sponsors me, and they sent me one to review, and I still have it. And it works great. I've used it so many times. And Marquette is based out of Michigan, but their Dutch ovens are made in China. The enameled ones. I don't think they have any cast iron, like seasoned Dutch ovens. So yes, guys. Oh, real quick, actually, I do want to show you guys what the cakes are looking like. They're actually looking really great. You can see them there. They're turning out pretty good. So we're going to be hopefully getting these out soon. And for those of you that possibly just tuned in, I did make these with this Crusties. And it is going to be a pound cake. Here you can see my pizza dough that I'm going to be making right after the live. I originally was planning to do the pizza dough or a pizza, live, but I do know that Cast Iron Chaos kind of beat me to it, so I ended up just switching it to baking, which I think turned out even better. So yes, Camp Chef, they have some great stuff, guys. I do like them a lot. Another item that I like using a lot that I haven't really mentioned or talked about is actually this one here. This is the Blacklock griddle. I use this one a lot inside my home. This one doesn't really travel with me anywhere. It's usually, as I mentioned, just stays home. And it works great as well. I do like this one a lot. It is still heavy, but it's not extremely heavy. The oval, this, and the just overall the design of it, I like it a lot. Rick says he wants to get some Blacklock. Yeah, Blacklock is actually very underrated. It is actually a very nice line that Lodge has. And you can see here the Blacklock. And I do like that it has this here, guys. This prevents it from warping. So if you do have a glass stovetop, you're going to have that rigidity and it's going to keep its true shape, which has actually worked really well for me because I have used it on the stovetop and it works great. Let me show you guys the progress of my other skillets that I'm working on at the moment as well.
I lost my wallet. The wallet.
Okay.
I lost it.
Hold on, buddy. Now watch out.
Daddy, I really want to eat pizza.
Okay, we're gonna make it in a minute. Our oven is actually baking. Go look at the cake. All right, guys. So as I mentioned, we have I already showcased this already many times, but the Wagner is actually coming out really nice. And I did receive a comment saying that a lot of people prefer the milling on a Wagner. So I just actually used this last night, and I used it to make what was it? Oh, shrimp and steak. So I did the steak on this one. So I did buy some USDA Prime ribeye from Costco. It was actually on a great, I guess you could say, great price considering that it was $30 for two. So I figured it was a great price. But I did the steaks in this, and it actually did a great job. And as I mentioned, I just I've recently restored this one, which I acquired it. I want to say maybe during the summertime. But it is unmarked, the 11 3/4 inch skillet made in USA, but it works great. It sits flat, and as you can see, it doesn't spin or anything like that. It sits flat, which is hard to come by, especially with a number 10. And I like it a lot, and it did great. So, after the steak, this is what it looks like. Still great seasoning. The seasoning is doing great. No issues with that. And one of the things that I like about this Wagner a lot is actually that it doesn't weigh as much as my other number 10s, like the Lodge number 10 that I have or the BSR number 10. This one is manageable and the size is great. It's not the biggest number 10, but because everybody's number 10 is going to be different in size. So I feel like this one's a great everyday use. Now, the other one that I've been working on as well, and the one that I used for my shrimp was this one here. This is my BSR. I think Cast Iron Chaos would like this one a lot, since I know Cast Iron Chaos is a fan of BSR. And this one also, the milling is very beautiful. As you can see it here in this corner, you can see the milling. Even the inside of the milling is very beautiful. Number 10. It's upside down. Trying to have you guys read it upside down. So yeah, made in USA. Number 10. And this one's actually a lot bigger. So this one's 12 7/16. So yeah, a lot bigger than this number 10. This is the Wagner. Now the other number 10 that I'm actually working on is, where is he? Oh, it's my Lodge, but let me grab it. Here's the Lodge number 10 that I also have been working on. This one also in great condition. The milling on this one is also very great. And as I mentioned, I think I've showcased this one several times already. This one was never used, I want to say, because it never really had a coat of seasoning. And as you can see, no utensil marks whatsoever. Just the milling on it is pristine. But yeah, they're all different sizes. So as you can see, this one, the Wagner is the smallest. So that's right here. You can see it is a tad smaller. And I think the BSR is the biggest. Yeah, you can see a little bit of that. Weight-wise, the BSR is the heaviest for sure. The Lodge, heavier, but not the heaviest. The BSR is the heaviest. Lodge second, and then the lightest is going to be the Wagner. And I know a lot of people love Wagner, and I can see why. You know, this piece here, still in great condition. All right, guys, let's go take a look at the cakes, and we'll see how they're doing. I know I keep moving you guys back and forth. We got about 6 minutes on that timer, but we're gonna take them out and see. I think they are close to being done, or they might be done by now. Yes, they are done. I think they might be going over. Shoot. All right, guys. And there we have it. These are the skull mold, or the bake pan. Yeah, and you can see it comes out clean. So they are done. I'm gonna be a little bit impatient here, guys, and I want to see if they're detached. You know what I should have done? I should have hit the pan to get all the batter in there. So hopefully it did set really well, but we'll see. And they do feel like they're not sticking, or stuck for that matter, to the pan itself. It is still warm. But with that, as you can see, they do look great. What I will do for you guys, and I'm sorry to say, I will post these on my social media, and I will post it here on YouTube as well. On a post, I will post the photo of how they turned out so you guys can see. I am running out of time. As I mentioned, I still haven't cooked dinner, so we are going to bake a pizza real quick. And yeah, so I appreciate everybody who stuck around. And as you can see, the pan did a great job. Doesn't look like there's major sticking. So hopefully I can get these out once they cool down. As I mentioned, they are a little bit hot right now, and I don't want to mess with them right now. I I do want to keep them intact and in that shape. But I am glad that they're not stuck at all to the pan, at least on the sides here. I do feel like maybe on the textured where the eyes and the mouth goes might be stuck, but hopefully it is not. So, as I mentioned, thank you to everybody who stuck around for this amount of time. I know that I've been really bad with the notifications to let you guys know whether I'm going to be doing the lives or not, but I will promise I will get better with that. And as I mentioned, I will be posting these on YouTube here so you guys can see them. And I will also post them on social media. If you guys follow me, I am on Instagram, TikTok, not so much on Facebook, but you can find me there. Luis J. Cast Iron Cooking. Anyway, guys, I appreciate your time. Everybody have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. And everyone take care of yourselves. We'll catch you guys on the next one. As I mentioned, thank you guys for stopping by.